Hi, this is Karen Deis, and this is the November 2014 Mortgage Currency Rule and Compliance Update. Now, in this issue, you're going to find 15 articles, but there are several of them that only apply to company owners and managers. The first one being that the CFPB is now giving you 120 days to cure any inadvertent overages for points and fees. Secondly, HUD says that they will not adopt the CFPB's provision to cure point and fee overages. Instead, they're allowing lenders to cure them or take care of them before the loan is submitted for mortgage insurance endorsement. The next thing that'll happen that'll affect loan officers in some way is that in January, Fannie's going to be introducing a collateral underwriting system. And what that means is that they're going to run the appraisals through this system with a rating of 1 to 5. And depending on the risk factor that comes back, you may be asked to get additional information from the appraiser, or you may have to get a new appraisal. And then there's another huge cost for the compliance department that has been taken care of by the CFPB. Consumer privacy was usually sent out in a written notice on a yearly basis. The CFPB now says that you can post it on your website as an ongoing disclosure, and you do not have to send it out on an annual basis to your consumers. Okay, so the big news this month is USDA and the launch of the 3555 handbook, which begins December 1st. Now, as you know, that they have a huge backlog of files that are just sitting around waiting to be underwritten, but USDA has done two things to eliminate the backlog. First of all, they are returning incomplete, poorly underwritten, or files that have mathematical errors to lenders. They're not even going to deal with it anymore. And so what will happen is that if you get a file back, it goes back in line and it goes to the end of the line, and they're not going to touch that file till all the rest of the good files have been underwritten. Then secondly, because they're getting ready to switch over to 3555, there's a moratorium on submitting files from November 21st to December 1st. So there is a 10-day time period. They hope to get through the rest of the backlog and then launch the new underwriting guidelines. So here's the thing. If you don't get your files submitted by November 21st, they will be underwritten based on the new rules in the handbook. And then USDA now has teamed up with the systematic alien verification and entitlement system, which means that as part of GUS, they are going to determine if a non-U.S. citizen is going to be eligible for a USDA loan. And if you do VA loans that are new construction, there's some new termite forms that have to be completed, and they are on the website. They have also increased the dollar amount of grant money available for specially adapted housing, and that is either purchase or remodeling. So you might want to take a look at that if you're doing VA loans. So now on to Fannie and Freddie. For Freddie, their bulletin covers updates on the Home Possible mortgage, and there's one section that you might want to read about that you might be, when you require to use third-party verifications, there are some intricate rules that need to be followed. And then there's one more Freddie article that you might want to read. They've created a fact sheet where you can download to understand exactly how LP arrives at a debt-to-income ratio, but more importantly, the flexibility that it allows you when underwriting and passing it through LP. Fannie's going to be switching over to DU 9.2 in December, and they're going to retire 9.0. So what that means to you, if you have some files that were under the 9.0 in December, If you don't get them underwritten, they're going to go under the 9.2 and the new rule and regulations. So I would like to thank you for your support. And remember that getting a loan approved and closed these days is rocket science.